Hello again from Hawaii. Listen, today we are talking about hunger, and I'm not talking about that food hunger. I'm talking about that spiritual hunger, and this episode 45, is about to change your life.
I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, they call me TSED.
Like that.
I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, she's TSED. I'm Simone, they call me TSED.
Like that. Like I said, we're not talking about food hunger today, but I'm going to start there and use it as a reference. So y'all know that food hunger, your belly is cramping, you getting hangry, and all kinds of other symptoms. People have told me they sweat, they get headaches, they want to vomit. I mean, it's a whole thing when you have that food hunger. But at a very early age, we understand how to identify that hunger. My body is hungry and my stomach wants some food, but I've got symptoms going all around my whole entire body, including emotional symptoms. So that is easy for us to identify. We say, hey, I need some food. You go grab some food and you start to solve that problem. Food goes into your stomach, all of the energy and the minerals, the vitamins, everything flows throughout your entire body, your cells, and you start to feel better. Your mood is lifted. You are vibing because you filled your stomach. As I promised you though, this episode is not about filling your stomach. This episode is about spiritual hunger. So here's what I mean when I say spiritual hunger. We can talk about the spiritual side of things like the mind, body, soul. We can talk about it from an emotional, mental health. All of those things we can combine under the category of spiritual hunger for the sake of this episode. But we were never really taught how to identify spiritual hunger. We only were taught how to identify that food hunger. So what does spiritual hunger even look like? Well, sometimes if you're feeling depressed, it can be spiritual hunger. Sometimes if you're feeling lonely, ignored, unimportant, invisible, it can be spiritual hunger. This idea of having no or low self-esteem and having no worth anywhere in the world, that's spiritual hunger. So today I want to make sure you understand how to identify it and how to feed it. Because we're out here hungry, y'all. Our mind, body, soul combo is hungry. And we tend to feed the body with some food. Sometimes we'll feed the mind with some education or some information. But that soul, that spirit, the emotions, the mental wellness, that part we are not feeding the way we should. And I think it's because most of us don't know that we can or we even need to. I had a session the other day and my client started by saying, I don't know what happened. I started off feeling really great and then I felt low. My self-esteem felt like it was high and I felt energized and all the tools you gave me worked. And then I started feeling bad again. And I said, did you eat? And she's like, what? Your spiritual food. Did you eat? She's like, what? So that's where this lesson really became very clear for me that I had to share it with you as well. I said, listen, everybody needs to understand it's not just food that we're consuming for our bellies. We need to consume knowledge for our mind and emotional well-being and spiritual food for our soul. What does that look like? It looks like validating our spiritual selves. It looks like acknowledging the I am within. It's not about someone else telling me I'm amazing, but me feeding on that information. Ooh, but it gets better. Wait till you hear this. So you know when you put food in your mouth, you've got to chew it, chew it, chew it. It's part of the digestion process. And it gets all the way into your stomach where it has that final digestion phase gets started and goes through your whole body, right? Well, when it comes to spiritual hunger and we're doing the things to feed the spirit, what I'm realizing is that most of us do not let it get digested. But it's not going to get digested into your stomach, baby. It's spiritual food, not food. So where does spiritual food get digested? Y'all ready for this? In your heart. That's right, y'all. When you are feeding yourself on a spiritual level, you need to make sure that everything you are consuming, everything you are taking in to feed the spirit actually penetrates that digestion process and gets right into your heart. Ooh, I'm preaching today, y'all. This is a word. So let's get into some of the examples of what it looks like to feed the spirit. Running, jumping, exercising, certain types of yoga, all of these things can help to feed the body. And we can also use those things to feed the mind as well. But most of the time, we're not really ingesting the spiritual side of things by affirming who we are at our core. This is where the power of thoughts and feelings and language come into play. This is where we understand that our words have power and the words have power over ourselves. This is where we understand that spiritual hunger needs to be fed by the quality of the thoughts that we're having and the quality of the words that we're speaking over ourselves and the emotions that we are flowing to and through the body. I have now concluded, y'all, with a lot of research and a lot of study. And of course, you know my boy. You know I'm going to say Joe Dispenza. Hey, Joe. Gratitude is the meal that feeds the spirit and gets digested right into the heart. And from the heart, gratitude, when digested there, is now spread throughout the entire body, influencing our thoughts, the chemical flow throughout our body, and the electromagnetic field around the body, therefore affecting our personal reality. Woo! All right, y'all, that is plenty for y'all to digest today. So remember, when your belly is hungry and you identify all those symptoms, I have a headache, I'm grumpy, I have an attitude, I'm sweating, I'm hot, I'm nauseous. Those things are from the food hunger. I want you to start being as vigilant in identifying your spiritual hunger. I feel so down, I feel so low, I feel not worthy, I feel unheard, invisible, unimportant. Those can be signs of spiritual hunger, and you need to feed. Do your beautiful list of gratitude out loud in your mind or in writing, and make sure that it doesn't just stay there. Yeah, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. Digest it into the heart. That means you are feeling it. And just like when you eat physical food, you feel full. You can know when you're satisfied. Your stomach feels, yes, I feel full, headache is gone, my mood is lifted. That's how you're gonna know when you've had enough spiritual food as well. You are gonna feel full. Your heart is going to feel full. Your mind and soul and body and essence and existence is going to feel fulfilled. That's the feeling you're reaching for. So make sure you do not neglect the spiritual side anymore. Feed your spirit every single day. And the next time I talk to my client and she says, hey, I'm feeling low, I'm going to say, did you eat? And she's going to know exactly what to do to go and feed her soul. All right, y'all, that is it for episode 45. That was a word. Woo! I hope you guys write that down, make a note of it, save this video, like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, go into my academy because that's where I have all of these beautiful tools that will help you to feed your soul. I'll see you next Sunday.
I'm Simone, she's TSED.